Hello, Assalamualaikum. So I am the second reporter. So the first one was Noraini G. Sampato. So I'll be presenting the two remaining subtopics of statistical analysis for construction data. So let's define again what's statistical analysis for construction data. So it refers to the use of mathematical and statistical methods to analyze, interpret, and make decisions based on the data collected in construction projects. So in short, statistical analysis in construction data is using statistical and mathematical methods para um, makakuha ng data, and the decision in the construction projects will be based on that data na nakuha mo. So, I hope na intindihan na natin yung first two uh, under statistical analysis for construction data. By the way, I'm Samira Kindato. So the first one was descriptive statistic and the second one was probability. So let's proceed to hypothesis testing. So a method to determine if a claim about construction data is statistically valid and used to compare materials, methods, or project conditions. In construction, it helps compare different materials, methods, or project conditions to see if they actually make a difference. So, halimbawa, if this material is better than the previous one, or they're just the same, or this method is better or not really compared to this method. So, mga ganung bagay. So we have key terms, which is the null hypothesis. H sub 0, it means no significant difference. And then we have the alternative hypothesis, H sub 1, which means there is a significant difference. So we have two common tests na ginagamit sa hypothesis testing. There are other tests naman, but these two are the most common, I guess. The first one is the t-test. If you're just going to compare two sets of data, and then ANOVA naman if you're going to compare multiple groups. So, halimbawa, let's say na gusto mong mag-test ng new concrete mix, if stronger ba siya than the old one. So first is we will be having the null hypothesis, which means the new mix has the same strength as the old one. So same lang sila, wala namang significant difference. And then the alternative hypothesis, which is the new mix is stronger. So may significant difference na siya, mas malakas na yung new mix. So you will be collecting the data and perform a t-test. So after mong so di ba iti-test mo yung new mix, so kukunin mo yung comprehensive strength niya. After mo makuha yung comprehensive strength niya, so na-collect mo na yung data, i-perform mo na yung t-test, which is yung statistical test, and i-check mo if the difference is real or just random. So if the test shows a significant difference, it means mas malakas yung new mix. It means i-reject mo itong null hypothesis, since yung nakuha mong result na or yung data from your hypothesis testing is mas malakas yung new mix mo, i-reject mo na yung null hypothesis mo. So, Another example is, does training improve worker productivity? So, pagko-compare mo na naman yung two sets of data. So, halimbawa, you want to check if training worker improves their productivity or yung work output nila per hour. So, first, we have the null hypothesis. Training has no effect on worker productivity. And then the alternative hypothesis, training improves worker productivity. So, um, of course, dapat may i-collect mo yung data, di ba? So, dapat may group A ka and group B. So, you have two groups of workers. Yung group A is yung may mga training, and then the group B is yung mga hindi naka-receive ng training. So, i-measure nila yung number of bricks na malalagay nila per hour sa each worker. Both groups itetest nila if sino yung mas maraming na i-file or na-i-laid na hollow blocks per hour. And then, kapag nakuha mo na yung data, gagamit ka ulit ng t-test to compare the average productivity of both groups. So, if the result or the test shows significant increase in productivity for group A, they reject null hypothesis and conclude that training improves productivity. So if there's no significant difference, they fail to reject null hypothesis, meaning training didn't make much impact. Why hypothesis testing matters in construction? So, data-driven decision making. So, ensures that construction choices are based on statistical evidences rather than assumptions. So, after mo mag-perform ng hypothesis testing, hindi na lang assumption, no? Yung assumption mo is may na-test mo na siya if valid ba siya or not. So, you got the data where is you can which will improve your decision making. So, material quality validation. Material quality validation helps determine whether new materials meet required standards before large scales. And then we have the risk reduction. Minimizes project risk by statistically verifying claims and assumptions. Cost and time efficiency identifies the most effective and economical construction methods. So, since napag-compare mo yung dalawa, so you can also compare if which is the most effective and economical dun sa mga methods, materials na pinag-compare mo using hypothesis testing. And then, quality control compares different techniques and ensures compliance with engineering standards. Now we have the correlation analysis. Measures the strength and direction of a relationship between two variables. Measures how two variables relate to each other in construction processes. So, sa correlation analysis is mini-measure niya yung relationship ng dalawa. So, it tells us if and how strong two things are related. So, ano yung relationship ng dalawang bagay, no? So, the result is called correlation coefficient, or the R. So, if the R is greater than 0, positive correlation, both increases together. If R is less than 0, negative correlation, one increases, the other one decreases. So if R is equal to 0, no correlation. Variables are independent. So wala silang relationship. So example nito sa um, construction management, labor productivity versus temperature. A construction, halimbawa, yung construction manager is want niya to na malaman if yung temperature ba is nakaka-affect sa work sa productivity ng worker. Example is gaano kadami yung nafa-file niya na hollow blocks sa isang oras. So first is magko-collect ka ng data, i-record mo yung daily temperature and then yung number ng uh, hollow blocks na na-file niya sa isang oras or sa isang araw. And then, ika-calculate mo yung correlation coefficient. If ang result niya is negative, it means dito siya na-fall sa pangalawa. Dito siya na-fall sa pangalawa. If positive naman, or greater than 0, it means dito sa una. And then, if equal to 0 naman, it means no correlation. Wala naman talagang effect ganyan. Like, example, if nag-negative siya, it means kapag mataas yung temperature or mainit yung panahon, it means less productive yung labor. Mas konti yung nafa-file niya na hollow blocks. So, kapag naman nag-positive, it means yung higher temperature leads to higher productivity. So, nag-increase sila. So, mataas yung temperature, mataas din yung result or yung mas madami din yung nafa-file niya na hollow blocks. So, that is positive correlation. So, if wala namang like nag-zero, zero lang yung equal nung coefficient correlation or almost zero, ganyan, it means wala namang relationship yung dalawa. Like yung wala namang kinalaman yung temperature dun sa dami ng or sa productivity ng labor or sa dami ng nafa-file niya na hollow blocks sa isang araw. So, why does it matter? So, this help managers adjust work schedule starting like if magsa-start sila ng umaga. Halimbawa, sa tingin mo, dun sa nakuha mong result sa correlation analysis mo is if mainit or mataas yung temperature is mababa yung bumababa yung performance or productivity ng labor, it means you can start at morning, yung earlier, yung hindi pa mainit, which is para mas productive yung mga labor, ganyan. Ganun. So, why correlation analysis matter in construction? So, identifying relationships, trend predictions, resource optimization, safety analysis, performance evaluation. So, that's all I have. Thank you.